Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to WPC Ace coverage. We've got 3 best of 2s coming up for you here. I'm Zyori, and I will be joined by Fogged. Hey, Fogged, are you with me?
I am, and wow, that's some disrespect. LD called me Mr. Fogged.
Oh, wow, my bad, man, my
Oh
bad.
yeah,
How you doing, buddy?
doing all right. It's kind of late here. I'm here to
Yeah,
watch some good Chinese Dota. I haven't really been able to catch up much with it at all lately, so I'm pretty
yeah.
excited.
Well, hopefully it actually is good Chinese Dota. Titan has been kind of on the gauntlet, and the second 2 best of 2s tonight will be versus Titan versus DK and Titan versus IG, but unfortunately stand-ins are aplenty. I think DK with 3 and IG with 1, so not quite as exciting as it could be. But first up, we've got CIS versus LGD. Fogged, do you know much about either of these teams coming in? I think you and I are on a similar level of Chinese Dota knowledge right now.
Yeah, right now it's a little bit lacking, but I know for the most part, like LGD, they like the strong heroes that you see most of these other teams picking. They just play it really well, and they 5-man really well, and they play Team Dota just much better than most teams, and they usually just I don't know, they just run over people because they just snowball so fast because they just play really good together.
Yeah, now one thing that I've observed in my short time casting Chinese Dota is they love that Centaur, and the bans are pretty straightforward. Batrider and Lycan from CIS, and Invoker, Ancient Apparition. LGD go ahead and first pick that Centaur, and I think my first 2 days of WPC, Centaur was either first banned or first picked in every single game.
Yeah, I mean the hero's just really strong right now. The ultimate just with the just global aspect of it and just the hero overall just being super tanky, able to initiate a low cooldown stun and 2 massive nukes. It's just yeah, really strong hero. I'm just surprised people didn't really realize it earlier.
Yeah, and speaking of surprising, CIS will go ahead and first pick Ember Spirit. A lot of teams haven't really been utilizing him too much, and when they do, it's that kind of one position safe lane, let me get Flame Guard kind of Ember Spirit that I'm not particularly keen on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that build either. I like the way that like we've been seeing actually more like the Western teams doing this mid solo, and then you just don't even get the Flame Guard for the most part, unless of course you're versus like a melee hero. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like you're so much more useful. Really, you're not just you don't need to farm forever. It's just as soon as you get your level 3 and your shackles,
Hmm.
it's 3-second duration on the grabs, and you can just run around ganking and everything. If you find a haste rune, you're gonna get like a double kill anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. We'll see how CIS use him here. Maybe they're waking up to the true power of the Ember Spirit. My beef with the Flame Guard build is just it helps you survive against someone like a Puck or a big magic damage dealer early on in the lane, but Ember is not about like going in there and tanking it up. He's about being obnoxious and connecting with bolas on the sleight of fist and just bursting people down.
Yeah, Dazzle's a good hero with Ember Spirit though for sure. Of course with Weave,
Yeah.
and then you can just keep your Ember Spirit alive longer, and the longer he's alive, the more of those he just keeps throwing out constantly, and the damage just really starts that up.
I'm happy to see Dazzle picked out. I'm curious if this will be a black Ember Spirit or if this will be more of that solo mid. That's actually rather interesting. I'm not sure how well Ember Spirit jives with Black's play style.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure about that either. I mean, he does like the farm though, so we'll see
Yep.
what ends up happening with that. But we do see a Storm picked up really early as well by LGD.
Another interesting choice. I don't know. What do you think when you see a Storm second pick? That's actually a little bit rare in this meta.
Well, they see that CIS went for 2 heroes that don't really have stuns right off the bat. So, I mean, they're kind of forcing them a little bit into, well, not forcing, I would say, but they're making them have to choose more disable type heroes just so that otherwise the Storm can't really like, go nuts, basically. But
Yeah.
it's a little bit interesting, but if it's a playstyle and they have a strategy with it, it can be very, very strong.
Yeah. Now, a support that will actually get third banned here by CIS, Rasta. Another one that the Chinese teams really love, and I'm surprised to see no love going Sand King's way so far. I'm sure we'll see him later on tonight in Titan. With Titan, Net has been playing some crazy Sand King. He has been spending a lot of time in the trees, taking advice from HYHY.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sand King's just such a strong hero the way that you can just farm your blink and you don't even have to get those arcane boots before that blink dagger anymore. You can just rush it and you pull out
Yep.
what and between a 10 and 14 minute blink dagger in the game, it can be complete. It can just change the game entirely just from a Sand King having that.
Yeah, I think 2 days ago we saw Net actually get his blink dagger before he hit level 6, which was the first time I've ever seen a Sand King do that in a competitive game. It was actually pretty darn impressive, to be honest. Not particularly useful, but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, if he moves, if you can get the couple kills, then of course your blink's just gonna come out even faster. Because I mean, it's really hard to get those early kills sometimes because obviously the stun range is pretty awful early on. But
Yeah.
if you get those opportunities and you get your blink that much earlier, it's pretty devastating to have a Sand King coming out with whatever that was probably like a 9 minute blink.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. So some more interesting bans. The Wraith King banned out by LGD as well as Mirana, and then we'll see Visage finally banned out by CIS. And our Dire team here, they'll go ahead and third pick the Doom, and maybe a little bit of a deny pick as well as something they want to work into their roster. Doom is one hero that does work pretty well against Ember Spirit in the mid game, but I don't know. I'm just curious how CIS are going to end up laning this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Doom pick is trying to make up for, of course, the Dazzle and the Ember Spirit not having that much lockdown for the Storm. So you just Doom that Storm and he can't really move too much.
Yep. And wow, there you go. LGD going to respond right away with a Wisp. They won't even have to think twice about it.
Yeah, well, Wisp is a great hero, just a semi, I mean, not counter, but he can heal people through the Doom, which is just amazing. And then you can also bring people back and bring them back into the fight 12 seconds after the Doom is basically gone already. So you can really just save people a lot. And I think that's a really good pick and just a transition by LGD.
Yeah. Yeah, a good read indeed. So we'll see how the rest of this draft starts to transpire. Overall, looking pretty solid. Oh boy. And I'm going to try and resist the urge to spoil this here. I've been doing well so far, Fogged. Do you have the Chinese stream up, or have you just been patient as these picks come out?
Oh, I'm just patient,
Oh, look at you, man.
of course, dude. But no, I mean, this is like the Clockwork pick is. I mean, I don't know how I really feel about that one, but they're just trying to grab their offlane here.
Hmm.
But I guess it fits decently with their lineup. They have rockets also to spam out the wave. I'm still worried a little bit for CIS because they don't really have any solid lockdown still on their heroes. They do have Doom, they do have a Clockwork Hook, of course. They have the cogs and everything, but they don't really have any stun to hold people down currently right now. They have this poison to slow them down, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really a stun. So maybe the Doom, of course, can get a Centaur later on, but right now I'm giving this lineup a bit stronger to LGD. This Wisp Tiny combo, of course, we've seen how powerful it is at pushing towers and knocking stuff down. And combined with a Centaur and a Storm, Centaur, Storm, Tiny Wisp, that is so much burst damage across the board. And they also make up
Yeah.
for the fact that they didn't really have so much push. This Tiny is going to make up for it later on in the game.
Yeah, and then plus Stampede as well. They've got a ton of initiation between the ball, lightning, relocate, and yeah, I'm fearing for CIS as well. With this, this is a pretty heavy melee lineup here, and even their lanes are not going to be particularly potent. I mean, this is going to be one of those games where Storm has pardon me, Doom has a lot of different targets that he's going to want to throw that ultimate on, and he'll be able to shut one of them down, but not all of them. And I think CIS have to get some sort of a hard stunner here with this final pick. LGD
Yeah.
will make the smart read to ban out the Sand King, which could have been viable for sure, and CIS will ban out the Chen.
Right now, the way I'm seeing it really is if the Temper Spirit doesn't really start to snowball very hard, he's gonna have to just try to get picks off on this Wisp without him surviving, and this Clockwork's gonna have to really initiate mostly on this Wisp, and then the Doom has to be used on the Storm. I would think. I don't know if he can really doom any of these other targets because the Wisp can just heal them through it entirely.
Yeah.
And we do actually finally see that Sand King ban coming out of LGD, so they still are worried about CIS trying to go for something like that.
Hmm. Although, even though it would be a stunner that would help some of their problems, having 4 melee heroes, I think, would be a little bit much. So probably okay for CIS not to get Sand King this time around.
Yeah, and they do end up picking up this Puck, and Puck is just a great hero overall versus most lineups. He makes up for the fact when you don't really have that much lockdown. He adds a lot of burst to your lineup. He adds a great counter initiator or even initiator in some scenarios. So overall, this Puck pick I think could end up working out for CIS, and it seems like I think it's a pretty strong pick versus all these heroes that LGD has.
Hmm. My question now, though, is how exactly are they going to lane this? Is this a support Doom, like a Doom hard jungling here, with maybe a Dazzle Ember in the safe lane, off lane the Clockwork, and then throw Puck solo mid, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how much this team has been, how they've really been laning, but I know like in America and stuff, we've been seeing these people do put like Puck short lane and sometimes and put in this Ember, like, the carry mid. I
Hmm.
mean, I know, of course, EG, I'm kind of talking about them mostly, but I think we'll just see standard lanes coming out of CIS this time. I think we're probably going to see this Ember Spirit short lane, which is not really my favorite, but we're going to see depending on which people pick their certain heroes. So,
Okay. Yeah,
and
it
yeah,
looks like...
looks like Black's going to be playing the Puck, so would be a farming Puck, and Inflame, I'm pretty sure, is the mid player on CIS.
Yes, I believe
So,
so.
yeah, I guess we'll be seeing.
All right, and that final pick from LGD will be a Venomancer coming out, so pretty straightforward support. Um, yeah, nice little bit of synergy there, gives him some extra magic damage. Nice strong laner.
Yeah, a little bit worried for CIS also because they just have this single Dazzle support. I mean, yeah, Doom is, I mean, he can jungle really well and get really strong, but putting a lot of pressure on this Dazzle to be buying a lot of these wards, and he's going to be very crippled, in my opinion. And even though the Doom is hopefully going to get some support items like a Mech and a Doom, or a Mech and a Pipe in order to be able to help, or Mech and Arcane Boots to be able to help his team out with that, but still a little bit worried for the Dazzle because he's going to be quite broke this game and pretty easy to just get blown up by Centaur once he gets his Blink, and of course, Storm when he gets 6.
And Dazzle, he's not really an ideal support to get absolutely nothing. He's one of those grittier supports that thrives a little bit with some extra experience, a little bit of extra gold under his belt, and even some core items. Fast earn seems to be the build of choice these days. So
and we were wrong anyway, though. Black is going to be playing the mid lane, and Inflame is going to be playing the short lane farming Ember Spirit.
Yeah, very interesting. And of course it will be June playing in the offlane Clockwork, and that leaves us with Demons on the Dazzle and AO playing on the Doom, who will just be hard jungling here. Stout Shield and a couple of tangos to get things started off. On the Radiant side, we've got Team LGD. We'll have Rabbit playing on the Tiny here in the safe lane. DDC will be supporting on the Wisp. DD will be the other support here in the bottom lane on the Venomancer. In the mid,
with Boots first.
Yao on the Storm Spirit. Pardon?
Boots first on that Venomancer as well.
The battle begins.
Usually don't really see people do that too much.
That is interesting. I guess he'll be roaming around quite a bit. He'll grab a haste rune to get things started off, but... Huh. And Icy will be in the offlane on this Centaur.
Yeah, and the one thing I just wanted to point out also is this Doom went for actually a Stout Shield in the jungle, and I don't particularly think that that's necessary at all, because you really want to try to get your bottle as early as possible if you're going to be doing this jungling build, because you do need that mana. And of course, bottle, you can even send it on the courier and just bottle refill, so it's a little bit of a waste of 250 gold in my opinion.
Well, we'll see how it works out for him. Venomancer will grab that haste rune here at the 0-0 mark. Black could be in a little bit of trouble to get things started. DD on the mark with the Venomous Gale, but Yao not really in a position to do much damage here to get that first point in Remnant, and they'll just settle with harassing Black out of lane a little bit, and DD will slither his way down to the bottom. So Yao gonna have a little bit of momentum starting things off, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, and they do end up actually finding that side ward that June put down, and the Wisp got the gold for it, so a little bit of a plus to him.
And are you, is your in-game mic on? I don't see your little thing popping up.
Yeah, it should be. Let me make sure. Yeah, it is. It's open.
Okay. Alright, maybe I'm just silly over here.
And we do see Icy getting engaged on top right now. He might actually go down from this. He decided to get return first, which I don't really understand that. It's a little bit strange. And yeah, he's going to have to port back up, and at least he'll get a little bit of experience at the tower.
Yeah, and Ember Spirit will be the one to grab that last hit, so some bonus gold going his way. Looks like the solo safe lane Ember Spirit is working out, at least for now. Icy just up a little bit too far forward. He'll go ahead and grab Hoof Stomp level 2, and I often talk about how good that value point in return is when you're in a solo lane, but level 1 is perhaps a bit extreme.
Yeah, he would have for sure lived if he had that stomp at level 1. And I guess they just, I don't know, CIS just saw him have that return, so they just engaged on him right away, and he got a decent shackle on him, and yeah, they took him down.
Yeah, good read. Looks like Storm is having a pretty good time in the mid lane, 8-2 versus the 6-1 Fairy Dragon, so relatively even and Tiny. He's in essentially free farm heaven down here, 8-2, and we'll move into our first pause of the game.
Wouldn't be Dota without a pause, man.
Yeah,
always got to say it.
WPC is actually pretty good with pauses because the players are on land, so there are relatively few issues that arise.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing too drastic happened, and we'll be returning quite soon.
Hopefully so.
Yeah, we do see the Tiny actually also went for a Stout Shield, so...
Yeah, Stout
he didn't want to
all
opt
around
for
this
Yeah,
game.
Stout Shield's all over the place. They just want to play it safe. They don't want to be taking too much damage. And yeah, June is just doing this obnoxious clockwork blocking creeps into the side. So he's going to be getting a decent amount of experience coming from that bottom lane soon. And he's going to end up having a better time than Icy is, even though Icy is actually level 3 after that death up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing okay. He's been in experience range. He'll go 1-1-1 here at level 3 and get that first point in double edge. But Dazzle's doing a good job zoning him out. Did go for that more aggressive build. Level 2, no points in Shallow Grave. But why bother? I mean, they're totally pooing on this Centaur to get things started.
Yeah, for sure. And he does actually grab an early TP on that Dazzle, so he's gonna just be sure to just watch bottom so that Clockwork doesn't get dove by any means.
Yeah, definitely right about that. And still just finding every opportunity to harass this Centaur. I'm gonna have to sign out of Steam real fast. always forget.
Noob.
So sloppy. I know. I'm noobing it up, man.
Black actually finds a DD also in that mid lane, so he just picked up a couple CS, and it really helped him after, you know, that Venomancer harassed him off the lane a little bit.
Yep, looks like his CS has returned actually now to be ahead of Yao a little bit, so Black is doing a fine job here in the mid. How's this Doom doing in the jungle? He is level 3, Stout Shield. Well, it's stouting, seems to be doing its job so far.
Yeah, maybe he's going to opt for not going that bottle build. So that's like, at that point, I mean, getting the Stout Shield is going to end up being worth it. So maybe he'll end up just rushing maybe his Midas even, or maybe we'll just see him go for just a rush type of boots, like an upgraded type of boots. It all depends on really what he wants to opt for, how early he wants to join into the game and try to help his team out.
Yeah, based on their carry setup, going for a fast Midas here and just farming away might not be a bad idea. LGD are pretty farm intensive out of the gate as well. I don't think they'll be roaming into the jungle to pick him off too soon. Maybe once that Wisp hits level 6, but I think he might be able to get away with a Midas here if he really wants to be a hard carry in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And we do see that Ember Spirit going for that. He has level 2 Flame Guard right now, so we'll see how much more he actually decides to end up leveling that if he decides to go through for the Searing Chain build or just maxing up that Flame Guard. And we do see LGD just trying to pressure down this tower as much as possible bottom because they know this Clockwork's just blocking the creep wave, so they know he's going to get experience, so they got to make something of this and just try to at least push down or get as much damage on this tower as possible.
Yep, and Veno will be level 3 as 1 point in the Plague Wards, and they'll help clear up this creep wave and start putting some pressure on this tower as well. Actually, Venomous Gale comes out onto June, and he is in big trouble. There's the toss forward from Tiny. Avalanche connects, and, well, DD will bite the bullet as he takes some tower shots, but they do secure the kill onto the Clockwork, makes it a 1-for-1 down bottom. And they do a fair bit of damage to this tier 1 tower, down to about half health or so.
Yeah, for sure. Now, yeah, the Doom did end up getting boots and Hedger, so he's going to try to rush out that mech and join the fights as soon as possible.
Yep.
And we do see that Tiny also pick up phase boots during that engagement.
Yep, not too bad for Tiny. Got the assist gold, and all in all, they got to do quite a bit of damage to the wave. In the mid, level 6 just about to come out. Both Puck and Storm just a couple of creep kills shy. And, oh, up top, we'll see a rotation. That'll be a dead Centaur as they dive the tower once again. DD will pour it in, tries to save his buddy, but it won't be enough, and Veno will survive for now.
Futile attempt.
Yeah.
And Storm actually also does have an Invis in his bottle and a TP scroll, so he can easily move to go gank a lane with that Invis and his level 6 once he hits it.
Yep, and there you go. He'll ding level 6. Just as you say that, Centaur will rejoin the Venomancer here in the top lane. But the damage has been done, and this Centaur kind of feeding the Ember Spirit at this point. Ember is a good bit ahead of the other top farmers in this game at about 2,800 on net worth. Tiny down bottom, only at about 2.2k. So a pretty solid margin ahead.
And DDC opts for the Soul Ring this game instead of going for like a bottle first. So he just wants to keep Rabbit some full mana so they can just keep constant harassment. And yeah, look at that. Instant 240 mana for that Tiny right away.
Yeah, interesting. A little bit different from the Wisp builds that I'm used to seeing. Bottle has been the way to go in the West, but Soul Ring does work pretty well for this particular duo, especially against the solo Clockwork. Now Tiny can just toss to his heart's content. Yeah,
it's actually just a really great item. People underrated how good it really can be on this Wisp. And oh, we see Black getting engaged on by the Storm of Veno top rune.
Yeah, he could be in some trouble here. Haste Rune in the bottle of the Storm, and he may go for this. Yep, he'll ball lightning up to the high ground, and Black is in big trouble. Maybe they can turn this around. Dazzle with the poison touch and the Dream Coil. Yao falls, Puck survives. Great rotation from Demons, and Doom will go ahead and get that kill up on the scoreboard.
That was that Centaur stomp from the Doom just actually saved the Puck's life, so that was a great play by him just to walk over and just join that fight. And yeah, this is showing that he wants to get in these fights as soon as possible. I mean, yes, it was in his jungle which he was farming, but he's also got this, now he's got 1,000 gold and he's getting closer toward this mech if he decides to just rush it.
Yeah, and I reckon that's what he's going to want to do here. He'll have the ultimate coming online in just a moment as he clears up this last camp, and just a solid rotation from CIS. That'll make it 4-1, and already about a 2,000 gold lead, 1,500 experience. Veno will hold the mid lane and get a little bit of experience, while Storm rejoins the party from the well here.
And he did decide to go for an Orb of Venom on that Veno too, so more poison. Need more poison.
Yeah, need more poison. How do you feel about the Orb of Venom on a ranged hero? Is it a worthy expenditure?
I think only on Venomancer it might be. I mean, I haven't really tried it too much on Veno, but why not? I mean, it's a gold investment, but if it works out for him, I mean, you might as well do it, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can understand why some melee heroes grab it. You know, some games it's really good on a Lifestealer or a Doom with that 12% slow, but 4% slow is not all that much. I guess it's just the way it synergizes with the poison sting that makes it a little more spicy.
Yeah, and we do see the Venomancer. He's going to be going for that rush mech build on him while he picks up his buckler already.
Yep. And he's actually pretty darn close to level 6 as well. Up top, Ember Spirit just completely zoning out this Centaur. He's now level 7 and doing a very interesting Ember Spirit build. I don't think I've ever seen this before. 3 points into the Flame Guard and then didn't max it and opted to switch over to Searing Chains at level 7. And now has level 2 Searing Chains with 1 Sleight of Fist.
Yeah, well, I mean, that build's not bad at all, because now at level 8 he's going to have that 3-second Searing Chains if he lands it on him, and with the Flame Guard he's going to be doing a lot of damage up on that Centaur, so this build is actually pretty damn strong.
Yeah, and there you go, he'll connect with
they're
the
engaging
bullet
on
here.
it.
And Doom, can he get in range for the ultimate? Well, he could, but doesn't want to. We'll just throw in Snare, and they back out.
Yeah, they don't want to dive the tower, not for sure, especially not versus this Wisp Tiny. The Tiny does have a TP in the Storm as well. You know, you don't really want to be diving a tower versus these type of heroes because they just have so much mobility.
Yep. Wisp is not level 6, though, yet, to be fair. Relocate's still not online, but there is a TP sitting on the Tiny that he can utilize there, so definitely making the safe call. Veno still hanging on to this mid lane while Storm actually retreats to the jungle and makes a little bit of recovery farm. Looks like he is bottle crowing here, and oh wow.
You do see a great solo kill there by June. And
yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, I think it was a solo kill, and the Ember Spirit TP'd right at the same time, so good rotations there by him anyway, even if he didn't really do too much there. And they also get the tower denied, so very beneficial for them. And we do see CIS smoked up trying to go for this Venomancer mid. They don't want him just sitting there getting all that farm in the world with those Veno wards.
Yep, he's got no mana. He's on the low ground even. This should be a pretty easy gank. Doom has an ultimate here. They'll go ahead and burn it. There's the Poison Touch from Dazzle. Only level 2, but
that Centaur ulti.
Stampede, yeah, he'll survive. All right. Bit of a whiffed gank there, but oh gosh, down bottom. This Clockwork. I cannot catch these Clockwork kills. I don't know what it is. But Wisp will finish him off.
Yeah, they get a kill there, and that's a very good kill now, because now this Wisp is level 6, and he can join fights really easily. And we do see Black farming pretty well for himself, even because he got saved by by that Centaur stun from the Doom before, and he's only 500 gold from that Blink Tag already. But also, I wanted to mention how we do see a lot of these Eastern teams put the Venomancer mid and have a hero that can just go jungle in the mid lane, and they just put the Veno wards, because what are you really going to do versus these Veno wards? You can't push that tower, because he's just going to free farm the more you do that. So it just ends up being really beneficial, and you farm overall more efficiently across the map with all your heroes.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The wards are a little bit too tanky that you can't focus them down, and you can't really just ignore them either because they do too much damage, so you're just sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And with that said, Tiny will go ahead and grab himself Drum of Endurance here after the phase boot. And did just grab an invisibility rune, but will burn it as he just farms the neutrals. So Veno, he's working towards that mech. Does have the headdress now to go with the buckler, and still a little ways off that recipe. How's the Doom doing? Looks like he'll have his mech. Is that coming out on the courier now? Nope, that's Drums of Endurance coming out for the Ember. So Doom's farm actually slowing down a little bit here, unless he's got some items hiding somewhere that I'm not privy to.
Yeah, well, he did walk around a little bit, and he doesn't have this max Devour build. He's going for a couple builds in Scorched Earth, and he has an early level death, of course. But we do see the Wisp and the Tiny playing it safe. They aren't farming in the lane because the lane isn't really in the most optimal position, and they're just farming all the jungle as possible. And we do see DD putting a lot of pressure on that mid tower with that Venomancer and Veno wards. Yeah,
enough pressure that some ports will come in. That'll be Black on the puck. Meanwhile, up top, Centaur taking a little bit of damage from the Ember Spirit. Inflame considering diving this, but opts just to back out.
Yeah, and Yao is set up right behind him, just waiting for him to try to go for that dive. So it was a good choice for him not to really go for it, going too far against that Centaur.
Yep, this Veno, though, I think he's going to be in big trouble. There's the long-range hook shot from June. And Cogs
and the new Cogs.
Should be a pretty easy kill on this Veno, but there's the relocate in from the Tiny, as well as the Wisp. Centaur Stampede, Storm zipping in. June will get caught inside the Electric Vortex. There's the 3-man coil coming out from the puck. Still no kills on either side. The relocate out from the Wisp. The two of them will survive, at least for now. Yep. And
that was a weird engagement.
Yeah.
That was really odd.
I thought they'd have more than enough to finish off that Veno, but he slithered back home.
Yeah, that Tiny Wisp porting in just, I guess, scared them a lot, and Black just kind of backed up. But now Black does pick up his Blink Dagger on that puck at a very early time. His CS is at a 61 at 12 minutes, so he's doing pretty damn well for himself right now.
Yeah. That Centaur ultimate has really come in handy against Doom, though. That's the second time now where the Doom target has been able just to run back to the tower because they simply don't have the movement speed of the lockdown to stop them from getting away.
Did you see those Cogs? I really don't like them. The new Cogs.
Yeah.
They're ugly. Weird. I don't like them.
Is that what all Cogs look like now? Was that or is that like a part
I think
of
you
the
need to
cosmetic?
get it. This cosmetic thing, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Oh yeah, I see. He's got the Telebolt Projector, mythical power cogs. Hey, they look kind of funky. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really like them.
I like the old ones.
Yeah,
Big
me too.
fan.
I like the Dota ones. Dota 1
Yeah.
ones. They weren't massive.
They're so big.
They were really big, but they weren't the radius of them like the ones in here. These are just awful still. I feel like they're still too big.
Yeah. There will be a smoke from CIS here coming out of their base. It will be on the Dazzle,
Dire's
Doom,
middle
and
tower
Puck.
is under
And
attack.
it looks like they'll rotate through the Dire Secret Shop, and they really want to gank this Venomancer, man. They've been trying to lock him down, and they've been unsuccessful. Ward comes out on the high ground, and their smoke won't be too successful, at least not yet. Two of them still smoked up. They may just move into the Roche Pit. Sentry Ward does come down, so they will counter that Veno.
Yeah, and we do see just the Tiny Wisp still just sitting in the jungle, farming as much as possible on that Tiny, just getting him closer and closer toward that Eggs. It doesn't look like LGD is in any rush at all in this game to really do much of anything.
Yeah, kind of interesting against the Ember Spirit, who is actually topping the net worth chart, and this Doom, who isn't really going carry build, but still farming pretty effectively in the jungle. I guess they're just waiting for this Tiny to completely come online. Meanwhile, up in top, Inflame in some trouble. Yao initiates, Icy follows up, and a lot of damage comes out. They just don't have enough to burst him down. He will scoop back to a Fire Remnant, and he'll be just fine. So the power of the Ember Spirit there being displayed for us. As,
Yeah, I was wondering if the Wisp and the Tiny were going to port in, but I guess they thought that they would be able to clean him up. So they didn't even bother wasting it. I mean, they would have probably gotten the kill, but it's a little bit risky in case you just miss that kill and that guy just gets his Fire Remnant out.
Yeah, now Tiny does have an invisibility rune on, so perhaps they can make something happen here. There is a dire sentry ward on the low ground. So we see some pings coming out. They know the Tiny is inbound. And this could very easily backfire for LGD. I'll just go ahead and reveal the invisibility as he tosses a creep towards the tower. Glyph comes out, and CIS are looking for a hold, maybe just going for the deny here. There's the poison coming out onto Dazzle, or pardon me, from the Dazzle onto Veno. Weave comes out, Dream Coil, hook shot in. Mech already popped by the Veno, and he's tanking it up. He will be the first to fall. Now Yao joining the party, trying to finish off this Dazzle. Get the Shallow Grave off, and Storm will be forced to zip out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Tiny will get picked off by the Ember Spirit and the Doom. Dazzle eventually falls to the wrath of the Veno, but now Yao in big trouble. Inflame hot on his trails. The bowl is coming out, doing a lot of damage. There's one last Sleight of Fist to finish him off. And CIS, they'll take a very convincing fight. That's a 1 for 3 going the way of the Dire.
Yeah, that was a really good fight for them there. The Clockwork they got a really good initiate on them. Black jumped in and got a 3-man coil, and the Clockwork initiated right on the Venomancer. Although the Veno did get his ult and his mech off, he was a bit out of position there, so he didn't get to use the mech at the most optimal time to heal his teammates properly. And Centaur got doomed right at the beginning of the fight, basically, so he didn't get to really get anything off.
Yep.
Now that I'm looking at the cogs more, though, they kind of remind me of something from like Sonic or something. We do see a Wisp port mid now, actually. They want to keep everything coming on this Doom right now, so...
Yep.
He might actually be able to survive here if the Grave...
Wow, he'll port out. Look at this coordination from CIS. Great Grave from the Dazzle, and now he'll just engage on DD. Throws out another Poison Touch. It's only level 2, so it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but could potentially finish him off with a heal bomb. No, DD will position himself too well, but there's the hookshot in from Clockwork and Orb from Puck, and CIS will clean it up. They'll add another one to the scoreboard, and it's a 1-0 going the other way. AO survives to tell the tale. Just great coordination across the board between that Dazzle and Doom.
Yeah, now this Ember Spirit's getting a lot of farm as well, too. He's 6,800 on net worth. He's still ahead of this Tiny by a bit, and it looks like... I'm hoping that Claymore turns into a Battle Fury, not a Lothar's.
I reckon it will. I haven't seen too much Lothar Ember Spirit play, and I don't know. I think it's pretty known across the board how good Battle Fury is on this hero,
Yeah,
but we'll
for
see it
sure.
engage in the mid lane. Dazzle taking a lot of damage to get things started off, but a mech comes out. He gets off the Grave as well. Storm Spirit and Tiny both get turned around upon. Now they hop forward. They want this Wisp, and they will find him. That's a 3-0. CIS just making quick work of LGD here in the mid lane, and they're not done yet. Ember Spirit says he wants more. He's going to go straight on to DD. There are some fiery balls that'll connect. No,
Whoa.
Poison Nova. And
That
make
Doom.
it 4.
What an unnecessary Doom, but man, Ember Spirit showing the power of this hero, and yeah, he is going to be going for the Battle Fury, of course. But that hero just dishes out so much damage, and the fact that he's just invulnerable when he's doing half of it, is actually just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And LGD is just really getting... They're kind of just getting controlled. I mean, CIS is playing really well. They're counter-initiating. They're saving people at current times. Their movement's very, very crucial. It's been almost perfect throughout this entire game so far. And they're just having a very good game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them gather up soon, right after this Ember Spirit gets Battle Fury, and they just try to get some towers.
Yeah. You know, I was worried that this draft from CIS might be a little bit too greedy with the one core support on the Dazzle and Doom farming away, but they've been kind of rewarded for this greed. LGD didn't pressure it whatsoever. Doom had a good time in the jungle, and they've got some pretty solid core items going on here. Ember Spirit will have that Battle Fury before too long. Puck had that early blink, now has power treads and about 1,500 gold to work with. And June already has the Force Staff up. We'll see what this Chainmail turns into, probably a Blade Mail. And meanwhile, Doom, he's just working on his auras. He's got another 2,000 gold to play with after this mech.
Yeah, and I mean, what's really just ruining it mostly for LGD is the Centaur. The way he didn't really feed, but he died a couple times top because of this return, which I'm not sure if it was maybe a misskill or he just didn't expect to really get killed by this Ember Spirit. He didn't expect how powerful this hero really is once he gets his spells off like this, especially with Dazzle. They do a ton of damage together. So he got a really late blink, and he hasn't really been able to incorporate too much into the game beside his Stampede. But now at least he does have his blink, and we might be able to see the tides turn a little bit if they can get a couple good engagements.
Yeah, he'll rotate straight to the top lane, and it looks like he wants some vengeance on this.
Looks like CIS is ready for this, though.
Yeah, Ember, he'll just scoot away, relocate coming in. June, he'll hookshot forward, and that might be a bit too bold. Puck coming in now. They'll do a lot of burst damage. Puck does secure the kill onto Centaur. Tiny dies. They'll get the kill on Puck as well. That'll make it a 1 for 3. So Clockwork gets rewarded for his man-ups. His team take a good team fight, but unfortunately he doesn't survive.
Yeah, and CIS just outmaneuvering LGD, honestly. They just read that movement entirely there, and the Clockwork was already set up, and he landed a beautiful hook and a 3-man cog right there. So even though he died, that's what that hero is really good for. You got 3 heroes out of that, and now they're going to be able to probably push this tower down, and now DD actually gets caught out of position a bit.
Yep. He'll take Fiery Bolas, pops the Nova, and does get the mech off as well. Looks like he'll survive, at least for now. Veno, deceptively tanky with that mech, but that will be enough to deter the push, and CIS will be repelled.
Yeah, I don't know where Black was actually for the follow-up there. I thought they'd be able to burst him down really quickly, and I thought he would actually go down and maybe get a double mistake and lose the tower as well, but instead he gets them all pushed back, and he just did something really awesome for his team. He didn't let them lose the tower, and he didn't even die for that either. Yeah,
brave Venomancer. Well, Battle Fury is now out on the Ember Spirit, so he's going to be a bit more potent and difficult to deal with. Doom did spend his hard-earned gold on a Blink Dagger, so he'll have better initiation now, also hitting level 11, so of course the ultimate gets a little scarier as well. Puck, that's a Void Stone, just going to be working towards a Scythe of Ice, I think. No, it'll be a Yule's Scepter coming out for his second item after Blink.
Yeah, well, it's always a good choice to go Yule's versus Storm Spirit when you see him pick up that first Oblivion Staff, because then right away you know they're not going to be going for anything else besides that Orchid, so you can just remove it with that, and you basically just counter that Storm's item already, and that's the great benefit of course, being over-farmed, and that Puck is quite over-farmed at this point. He's 4-0-7 with 93 CS. We do see the Wisp getting caught out of position right now.
Yeah, DDC, he'll get completely obliterated. Now this Tiny, he's in some trouble. Doom throws the ultimate. He'll get silenced by the Puck. Maybe a bit of overkill, but easy 2 kills going the way of CIS, and this game was looking even for a while, but now CIS are just running away with it. 4-18 at the 21-minute mark.
Centaur getting caught out of position, and even using Stampede. Clockwork finds him out of position, and he even had to blow Stampede, and he still got killed because of the Force Staff, since the Clockwork just has so much farm.
And Ember Spirit rotates bottom, perhaps looking for a kill on Yao. Won't find it. But, yeah. LGD are in big trouble here, Fog. 7,500 gold, about 10,000 experience. Pretty big deficit for 21 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. They really need to start, just, if anything, slow down the game and just try to get a couple more farm, because they didn't even have their Tiny with Ags until this point. Now, he just is going to be picking it up when he respawns. They were farming a bit aggressive top, so I guess they just really wanted to finish that Ags, and they just got caught because of it.
Wow. Yeah, this Tiny 0-4-3. Even the Storm Spirit 0-3-2. With an Orchid first, you'd think this Storm could be a little bit more aggressive and find some kills. That'll be his second Oblivion Staff completed right now.
Coming out really late, though. It's going to be such a late Orchid at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's just so low impact. CIS will grab themselves another tower kill down bottom. Venomancer, he'll go ahead and grab a gem, looking to grab some more map control here. Not a bad idea. They need to do something, though. I feel like LGD need to smoke up. They need to try and get some pickoffs. They need to find some way to take a team fight and utilize this Centaur Blink. I thought Icy would be able to start shifting the momentum, but he's been pretty quiet since he grabbed this Blink Dagger.
As soon as they got that Blink, they just got read, basically, by CIS. That Clockwork was just waiting for them to initiate up on that Ember Spirit, and it ended up being a horrible, horrible turnout for LGD right after they got the Blink Dagger, which was supposed to be basically their saving grace.
Yeah. And CIS, they'll just rotate towards the Roche pit, perhaps thinking about it, but nope, they won't commit to it. They'll just rotate back towards the mid. They've cleared out all the tier 1 towers, but LGD have done a good job of keeping their tier 2 towers safe. It's only a 1 tower advantage for CIS right now, but maybe that's even a little bit scarier because that gold lead is all hero farm, and it's upwards of just about 10,000 now.
Yeah, and this Ember Spirit's getting pretty damn scary, and it does look like he's going to start going for a little bit more of a defensive item. He's picking up an Ogre Axe, so wouldn't be surprised if that's just going to be a BKB so that he doesn't get Orchided and just killed instantly in these team fights.
And yeah, against the Orchid, it's not a bad idea. Some Embers would maybe be a little bit more brave and just go straight into a Daedalus hero, another Battle Fury, but I understand the need for BKB, especially against the Tiny and the Storm. There are a lot of crowd controls if he gets caught out. But with
yeah,
that,
for sure. I mean, and also the Dazzle can use his abilities through the BKB anyway. So I mean, it's just not a greedy pickup at all. I mean, he could have even opted for the Lincolns because he's pretty damn rich at this point. But BKB still can actually just be a perfectly fine item because Veno Gale, you don't really want to be hit by that and everything like this.
Yeah. So CIS are looking like they may get an uncontested Roche. LGD don't have any ward coverage in this area. So their map is dark, probably inferring that Roche could be happening right now, but they won't even venture into the pit. CIS will finish him off, and it will be Ember Spirit that grabs the Aegis of the Immortal. Maybe now they can try and break some of these tier 2 towers, and I think they'd be well advised to stay aggressive. Tiny's using that Ag to good effect here. Has himself a Yasha as his first core item, following that big branch getting picked up.
It's just so scary for this Tiny too. I mean, versus the CIS lineup at this point, since they just have gotten so crumbled in this early in all this early game completely. He kind of needs to go for a BKB because this Puck is going to be able to. He's going to get a Hex pretty soon. He's going to be able to control that Tiny pretty easily. But you don't really want to ever have to go BKB on Tiny, especially not early in the game, because it just starts to slow down your farm. And yeah, of course, it ticks away your charges of your BKB quicker and quicker. But he's not even close to that at this point either.
Yeah, there will be a smoke from CIS as they move through the Radiant jungle. Looks like they may converge on the Venomancer in the mid. Probably not their ideal target. That's a BKB out on the Ember Spirit. And the Courier will be bringing it over here momentarily. LGD are positioning themselves pretty well around the map right now to stay in a pretty defensive posture, not making themselves too susceptible to gank. Tiny and Wisp just farming away down bottom. And maybe they'll be the targets of choice here.
Yeah, CIS is just gunning for them completely right now, honestly. They need to really be careful in the position that they're in, and they can get caught out very easily unless they can get some TPs out. But no, they do catch the Tiny. Let's see if the Wisp try to bring him out.
No, Rabbit will just get doomed. Wisp just relocates and says, see you later, but doesn't even take the Tiny with him, so Tiny will fall, and now Wisp, yeah, he'll just get picked off.
The Tiny actually broke the tether because he ran away from the Wisp at that point, and the tether wasn't back up in time for when the relocate was going off, so a little bit of miscommunication there, I think, by them, both of them.
Yeah, rather unfortunate for LGD. Wisp probably could have saved that Tiny if they've coordinated a little bit better, and of course the Wisp still would have gone, but at least if you could have saved the Tiny, you could have minimized their losses. CIS just add more to the scoreboard. Now 12,000 gold, about 15,000 experience going their way. Puck with 3,400 gold. He's
rich.
Pretty close to a Scythe of Ice. Close-ish, given that he's got a Yule's. Yeah, 26 minutes in. He's on par with the Tiny in terms of farm. Just now breaking that 5-figure mark of 10,000.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised he didn't go for like a Dagon. They have such a lead. I mean, it's not even a bad item at all because you can just blow up the Wisp. He's so squishy at this point since from the lead that you have. So much momentum just going the way of CIS in this game.
Yeah, Clockwork throws a flare down bottom, looking for an opportunity to hook shot, but won't be in range to connect with the Storm. And CIS may just opt to pressure this tier 2 tower in the top lane. Even though CIS are finding pretty good ganks around their map, they're still struggling to find a easy opening to break one of these towers, although as I say that, they might find it here at the top lane.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier in the draft, that they still lacked a little bit of push just because of the heroes that they had. But, I mean, with the lead that they have, of course, it's going to make up for the fact of them not being able to push. And they might actually just be able to go high ground at this point because of how just the commanding lead that they have.
It looks like it. Doom will grab himself a BKB now, and this tier 3 tower in the base will take some pressure. Glyph is available for LGD, so there is an ability to make a hold here. Looks like the Wisp will TP back home. Glyph comes out, And CIS, how do they want to handle this? Fiery Bolas will connect on the Venomancer as he does Sleight of Fist forward. Blink forward from the Centaur, connects with 2. BKB from the Doom. Veno will be the first to fall after he gets the Poison Nova off. CIS won't take the bait to dive the base. They'll just finish off the Veno and then start making quick work of this tower. Mech comes out from the Doom as well. Some wand charges. Ultimate is out on the Tiny, and AO will hop forward. He may pay for this, though. Tiny coming in, doing a fair bit of damage. Black will get picked off. He'll buy back straight away. Actually does get the kill on the EO. The rest of his team comes in, and they just clean it up. That'll be a Centaur and Tiny down. They'll both buy back. Yao hopping forward, may pay for this as Inflame actually uses a Fire Remnant to scoot forward. He still has the Aegis, but very bold plays. That will proc his Aegis. He'll be coming back, and I'm not sure if he'll be able to scoot back to a Fire Remnant too easily. No, he'll just be
the toss. Oh, he didn't even try going for it, actually.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to try going for the toss. It's a little bit hard to, of course, toss units that are BKB'd, but you can, of course, you can do it for sure. And that was a little bit, I feel like, of a strange jump by CIS. I think they could have just slow played it and gotten more than just the tower. But the Doom, after he blinked in and doomed and used his BKB, he blinked in again and just tried to stun the Tiny. So a little bit of a crazy position there, but they did end up getting a couple things out of it. And the Ember Spirit only just lost an Aegis instead of his life. And he does pick up a Crystallis now at the base.
Yeah, and they did force a couple of buybacks. Puck bought back, but as did the Tiny and the Centaur. So 2-1, and LGD. They hold, so I guess you could call it a victory on that front, but definitely does not come for free. Ember Spirit may actually get caught here. Storm zipping all around. That'll be an Orchid out, and Inflame. Yep, he'll fall. Relocate in on the Tiny
And
Wisp.
the neutral got him.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's so unfortunate. And there's a one... Oh, that's so brutal. That's pretty unlucky for LGD, but not the biggest deal because at least they do kill him and he's down for 60 seconds, so he can't farm during that time.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, wow, that's really just unlucky.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, but like I said, yeah, it's still a good thing because now they can pressure this top tower and maybe they can even be able to get it because they don't have to be they don't have to risk too much since this Ember Spirit's dead. But Black is picking up a lot of farm. He does actually get this ulti orb, and does he actually bring anything else? No, he's not bringing anything else out to him. So he's getting close to that sheepstick though, and on top of that, he does have that Ewell, so he's doing really, really well for himself this game.
Yep. Gem is now out on the Dazzle. I think that's let's see here. No, Veno's still hanging on to his, so both sides do have a gem now. Basically just mutual destruction here of all the wards around the map. It seems like this Doom is just taking a lead from the Centaur. He's been holding on to this War Stomp that he got from one of the Centaur neutrals. And that's pretty much how he played in that last fight. He just blinked forward for that AoE stomp. Dazzle
Icy just blinked into the trees.
Oh, yeah.
They were pinging out the Dazzle. They saw him there, and I guess Icy just jumped the gun a little bit on his blink and didn't really be able to get a free kill because that Dazzle actually didn't even have a TP, so he was a bit out of position. And now his buddy Ember Spirit's coming down.
Yeah, Ember Spirit's coming. Dazzle will put a ward down in this kind of. Does that ward give any vision? I don't think that it really does.
Quickly as I go.
I think that's one of the ones that actually doesn't, because I think I might have done that one before, and it doesn't give you much.
Yeah, I don't think it gives you anything over the tree line. Yao zipping around. He will throw the Orchid out onto Dazzle. There's the relocate in. Dazzle falls, and Ember Spirit, he might be in a little bit of trouble here. We'll grab a kill on the Wisp. Does have that BKB on. Tries to go man mode with the Tiny, but never a good idea. It will be a 1-for-1 now. Icy trying to pursue, but now June joining the party, and the rest of CIS starting to hop in as well. Doom hops forward, actually off the mark with that War Stomp. BKB on, throws out the Doom onto Storm. June just trying to chase down the Centaur.
Oh my god, Black just got cragged and he didn't get to stop the Tiny's TP because he blinked in right next to him.
Oh, how unfortunate.
That was so unlucky.
Storm does fall to the Doom after Clockwork has a point-blank hook shot. Dreamcoil comes out on 2. Puck finishes off the Centaur, and we'll be able to finish off DD as well. One more auto attack ought to do it. And there's the Sleight of Fist. That'll clean him up. And now CIS just looking good. I think they'll be able to take out this Tier 2 tower bottom and possibly even start pressuring the base here.
Yeah, that was pretty weird in game engagement. I mean, Ember Spirit and the Dazzle were pretty far out of position, and their teammates somehow got to them in time just because of the power of the mobility of this Ember Spirit. I mean, he has this BKB, which actually ended up working so well in his favor there, and he just got completely out of that team fight and then ended up putting LGD in a pretty bad of a situation. And then that was just so unfortunate by Black. He blinked right next to the Tiny, and he was about to coil, and he got craggied. But it ended up being okay because he ended up saving the coil and netting 2 kills out of it.
Yeah. One of those kind of blessing in disguise type plays. Pretty unfortunate how Craggy can come out like that. And, well, Tiny will finish off that tier 1 tower in the top lane. Roche, oh boy, it's respawning in just about 10 seconds. CIS moving to the pit. They see it's not up. And rather unfortunate timing here. Although, on the positive side of things, Puck will grab the Scythe of Ice.
Yeah, and that's a pretty damn early. That's pretty early for a Blink Scythe of Ice, Eul Scepter, and a Puck. He has only 1 death under him right now, so CIS just still having a very good lead right now, and they do see this Tiny and the hook off the mark a bit.
Yep, just falls a little bit short, but not to fear. CIS are still in hot pursuit. Icy will reveal the smoke on Black. Will he continue to hop forward? Does have a Dream Coil. Nope, they play this one a little bit more safe.
Yeah, it's just they just don't have that much backup too close to them. I mean, they were relatively close, but they just don't want to risk anything right now at this point with the lead that they have. They can just play it slow, play it safe, and just win the game with all this that they have, because this Ember Spirit's hitting extremely hard already, and he has another 3,000 gold on him now.
Yep, and Clockwork also has an Ag Scepter complete now, so he'll be ulting all over the place. Also a Crystallis coming out on Ember. That will be a Daedalus before too long here. Roche is also respawned. I don't think CIS have scouted it out quite yet. Again, just a bad batch of RNG. They scouted it so close to the respawn time.
Yeah, and Tiny Wisp just still trying to push out the lanes as far as possible. So LGD still doing a good attempt at this to bring back the game. DD is just farming the Ancients, trying to pick up as much farm as possible. It looks like he's going for that Ag Scepter next. He has a point booster, Force Staff, and Mech on this Venomancer, so he is doing quite well for himself. He has so much farm on him. And yeah, they're just keeping their lanes pushed out as much as possible so that CIS can't really find good positions to just push. They just keep running around and just making time for themselves to try to come back into this game.
There will be a rotation up top to try and repel the Tiny Wisp, and their efforts will be successful. They won't find a kill in the process, but that's alright. They do keep their tier 2 tower safe. I think CIS just need to move into the Roche pit, get themselves that Aegis, and maybe that'll be their golden ticket to break the high ground.
It is a pretty tough place to fight there, though. I mean, it's very, very cramped. Of course, you're going to have a couple people in there. But if they just do it slowly with just 2 heroes, then that's probably their best bet.
Yeah.
Because then they won't be able to get engaged on too hard. And this Centaur is just really having a not so good of a game. He's actually second to last on the net worth as this offlane core Centaur. This Venomancer almost has double his net worth as a support.
Ouch. Even the Clockwork, who is kind of his counterpart in this game, more than doubling at this point, past that 10k mark. So yeah, Centaur, he's just been struggling. He's 0-6-3. Usually Centaur one of those heroes that doesn't get a lot of farm in lane, and then he grabs the Blink Dagger, he starts moving around, and that's where he starts racking up kills and gets momentum that way. The problem here is the kills never happen. He got the Blink, and that first gank went sour, and since then, it's been all bad news coming out of that Centaur. But
yeah, it was just so really good movement from CIS in the early game for sure.
And CIS will get second Roche. Aegis just hanging out on the ground. Who's going to pick it up, boys? Who wants it? All right, it will be the Ember Spirit.
Me? Okay, me. Sure, fine.
Sure, if you're going to make me, I guess I'll grab it. Daedalus just about to come out for the Ember, though. He's like 300 gold away off the Demon Edge. Already has the recipe. And that is scary. This Ember is hitting that critical mass where they just won't be able to deal with his overall damage output.
Yeah, and he actually sold his drum there for that Demon Edge to finish up his Daedalus.
Oh,
but he also does have another 2,000 gold on him on top of that Daedalus Battle Fury BKB.
Yeah, he's fat. He's huge.
Yeah, he's gonna be cleaving pretty hard. That Tiny's gonna get melted pretty damn fast in these fights.
Yeah. And Icy just hiding in the trees here. I don't think they'll find him. He'll be safe. But
weird position to be in.
Yeah, kind of an awkward spot. Just hanging out.
Not really sure what he's trying to go for there either. I guess he's just chilling. Letting his teammates... I mean, he's not really the one who needs to be getting this farm at this point. They need to be giving the Storm Spirit and the Tiny as much farm as possible. And I mean, DD is doing a great job of finding his own farm on Veno too, so he's very tanky.
He sure is. There is one outer tower remaining for LGD, and it is this tier 2 standing in the mid. It looks like CIS will just group up and pressure that tower. Right now, Tiny is the only thing keeping LGD in this game. He is still number 2 on net worth, but everyone else is just so poor at this point. And that's where CIS are really just starting to shine in these team fights. There's enough farm to go around, and LGD have so much hinging on the back of this Tiny. He does have about 5,000 gold.
He's saving gold.
So. Yeah.
He's trying to decide what he really wants to build. If he just wants to finish up that AC before he fights or go for a Manta. And it looks like he just buys the plate mail because he wants to be sure that he does have buyout. But no, he realizes he does have enough to just finish out the full AC.
Yep. And melee racks in the top lane taking some pressure. Icy hops forward, does connect with the hoof stomp onto the Clockwork. And we'll just scoot back to safety. And Flame actually off the mark with those bolas.
Weird BKB usage
pop.
right there.
Yeah, Glyph comes out as well. This is sort of an odd engage so far. CIS have just done a little bit of chip damage to the barracks, but they did force out the Glyph, which is a bit of a victory here.
Both teams just hesitating so much. They don't want to do a bad engagement at all because it's at this point it's just so critical. If you have one bad engagement, the game can just end right off of that.
Yeah, and even CIS, even though they're ahead by 20k gold experience, even getting completely wiped up here, recognizing the power that this Tiny has, it'll just take one bad engage. If this Doom gets dropped or they don't get off some of these key ultimates, they could still potentially lose a team fight here, even though it is definitely in their favor. They will have forward once again. Icy with the hoof stomp, actually off the mark this time. Orchid comes out onto Demons. BKB on the on the Storm will secure the kill onto Dazzle. He'll buy back, but it'll be a while before he gets back into this fight. Doom comes out onto the Storm. Doom has his BKB popped. He's taking a lot of damage in return. Will be the Venomancer to fall next. A lot of low health heroes on both sides of the coin, and CIS will be forced to back out here. Inflame does fall. That'll proc the Aegis. We're looking to grab some kills with that Sleight of Fist, but they will get repelled. I think CIS need a pipe here, Fog.
I think that this engagement by LGD was just the best possible thing that they could have had happen, and they only actually did net 1 kill out of it. So CIS can probably just go back in and try to just chip a little bit at the tower. They did get the Aegis, of course, as well, but CIS got a decent, not that much damage on the tower, but they did at least force the Venomancer to die, of course, and that was one of the best possible engagements that LGD could have done. They caught the Dazzle a bit out of position, and he just got blown up before he could do anything.
Yeah, another initiation starting. A lot of damage coming the way of CIS. Grave will come out onto the Doom. That keeps him alive, makes for the turnaround on Centaur, but Ember falls shortly after. He'll buy back now. Tiny still alive despite taking a lot of damage, and now CIS will just start chipping away at this tower. But Centaur buys back, and all of a sudden, it's a 5v5 on the field. LGD, they're hanging in there.
Yeah, for sure. And the Ember Spirit actually did end up buying out too and jumping back into the fight. So he can't even farm for this duration that he's now alive.
There were 3 buybacks used total across that engage, and 2 of them came the way of CIS.
That was really good defense by LGD there. I don't really know why CIS was just trying to force it through that mid lane when they don't have a tower up at that top racks. So I think that they're kind of questioning their decision right there, and now they're giving a little bit of room for that Tiny to get a lot more farm.
Absolutely. He's got almost 4,000 gold again. He'll have a Manta. He could even afford it now, but just wants to make sure he has enough for buyout. He did not buy back in that fight, so he still has one available. And CIS, I don't want to say that they're in trouble, but this just doesn't feel like LGD are behind by 20,000 gold and 20,000 experience. Clockwork will grab himself a Hood of Defiance, and I think that's the smart play. I think a pipe will make this so much easier. That Veno ult is what really crippled them to start off that engage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and of course, you know, the Orchid just getting perfectly on that Dazzle because he was just a little bit out of position. Because even though he should be near his teammates, he does have this Force Staff, so he shouldn't be too far up. And maybe we'll see an engagement on the Tiny Wisp right now by Black, and he actually whiffs the coil.
Yeah, whiffs the coil, but does force out the Stampede. So, not the end of the world, and actually could make for a slightly easier engagement opportunity for CIS coming up here.
And it's insane how Yao got, what, maybe one kill on him out of that team fight, but it was that Ember Spirit with the godlike streak, so he got 1,400 gold from that. So he's going to be getting close to a sheepstick pretty soon just because of that one kill.
Yeah, you're right. 3,500 gold in savings after the BKB. Yao has done a good job. He had a really slow start. There was a while where he was just like 0-3.
Yeah, all of LGD really did. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. But this Storm has really made a solid recovery now, and that BKB Orchid, it's proved pretty potent in these last few engagements.
He got the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, he's gotten the Orchid off on a key hero, and with the BKB on, there's just not much CIS can do about it. In that last fight, he got doomed, but so what? He's tanky enough that he just walked back to the well.
Yeah, and we do see the Centaur actually now drops the last in the net worth, so he's having a very, very, very rough game.
Yeah, that's an understatement, I think. Venomancer's still hanging in there in terms of net worth. Does he have his Ag Scepter complete? No, he is not really that close unless all the pieces are on the courier. Nope, still one piece
He's
short.
got one piece short, yeah. And we do see Tiny not finish up that Manta right now. He just wanted the Yasha and everything just to have as much mobility as possible, and now he's going to be going for the crit because he knows, you know what? I'm not even dying in these team fights. I can just dish out more damage, and we're going to be able to win this game.
Yeah. It'll be interesting if they can actually turn this around. That will reaffirm my faith in the hard carry Tiny. I know it's potent, but still, it doesn't feel like a team that's behind by this margin. Inflame looking for an opening here to connect with the Sleight of Fist Bola combo, but yeah, he doesn't find it.
Yeah, he actually casted the Bolas before he even got the Sleight of Fist off, so a little bit of a misplay by him, but Not the biggest deal. I don't really know if they can even get that kills down on both those heroes at this point. They're pretty damn tanky, and the Wisp, of course, can always be able to relocate the Tiny out and just die himself.
Yeah, and at this point, a kill on the Wisp is really not the
Yeah,
end of the
definitely
world.
not the biggest deal. We do see, oh, maybe there's going to be an engagement on mid right now. Doom looks like he's setting up his Scorched Earth, but no, he doesn't get the jump in time.
Yeah,
Oh, and
the
Clockwork
blink
actually.
dagger, but whoa, long range hook shot. The power cogs come down, and now Rabbit could be in some trouble. He will get smacked by the cogs as he does break through one of them. Relocate out from the Wisp. This is the opportunity that CIS have been waiting for.
Oh, and LGD is going to engage on this, though, so this Dazzle has to be in proper position. And they do have that ward on the high ground, so we'll see if they do decide to just full-out re-engage. And it looks like they're just going to be leaving that Wisp just die on his own.
Yep, he'll get hexed right as he comes back. And now with Wisp down, it is a 5v4 on the field. They force out the mech with just the Sleight of Fist Bola combo. Hook shot off the mark, but he'll have another one in 12 seconds.
This Wisp does have bio, and yeah, he does use it. I was about to say. He's probably just going to bio. And Black actually picks up a full Lincoln's as well now, so he's able to use that on his teammates. And he can even keep it on his Dazzle, so his Dazzle can stay up a little bit further, and they don't have to really worry so much about that Orchid.
Yep.
I said Workid. Combined both words. That's pretty good.
Orchid doing work. It will be about a 2-minute Roche spawn after the initial timer. So perhaps CIS can just wait it out, secure the next Roche, and get themselves some Aegis and Cheese action. I still think CIS are in a pretty good position to close this out, but LGD making one hell of a defense here. Tiny now #1 on the net worth chart by about 1,500 gold. And there's the Daedalus coming out for Rabbit.
Yeah, he's going to be doing so much damage. 400 base damage on him. He doesn't even really have to worry too much about attack speed this game. He doesn't really have to go for all these attack speed items, but he does, even though, have that Yasha and his AC. So he's going to be attacking super fast and just dishing out so much damage. And he didn't even opt for the BKB in this game at all. He just said, you know what, we just need the damage at this point. We can outlast them in these fights.
Yeah, now there will be a 5-man smoke from LGD rotating through the jungle and now into the bottom lane. Hoping to find someone for CIS, but won't be so lucky here with this smoke attempt. Pipe will come out on Clockwork, and Roche now up in about 45 seconds.
I wonder what item we're going to be seeing in Flame go for now. He picks up another Demon Edge, so maybe we'll be seeing some Rapier gaming.
Oh.
Unless it's just going to be an MKB, but I mean, I don't know, man. I'm getting pretty excited right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have seen so few MKBs come out on Ember Spirit. I would be hard-pressed to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a very early rush Rapier either. He has a lot of items on him already. He has his Daedalus, he has his BKB for the defense, and the Battlefield on top of that just to give him even more damage, and of course the Cleave when he uses the Sleight of Fist to add even more damage.
Yeah, and with third Roche here just about to spawn, and Lincoln's on Puck, it wouldn't be the riskiest Rapier I've ever seen, though this Roche attempt will be rather risky. June hops forward with the hook shot on the Tiny. There's the Storm hopping forward. Orchid on the Dazzle once again. Won't be able to burst him down this time, though. Demons will survive. Gets another beautiful Grave off. And Doom Ultimate comes out onto the Tiny. They do secure that kill. Now Yao could be in some trouble here. Trying to finish off this Dazzle. Will get that kill, but Ember Spirit comes in.
Oh my god, the damage.
Just cleans him up. And now Icy, he's in some trouble. He'll get picked off. And CIS, they just steamroll their way to victory through that fight.
Come on, Inflame. Don't do double crit. Buy that Rapier. Pick up the Aegis.
And June in some trouble here, perhaps. Nope, he'll hop out of the cogs. Tiny gets hexed straight away. He did buy back for this. BKB now used by the Ember Spirit, doing a lot of damage to this Cleave, just trying to survive for another Sleight of Fist combo, but Tiny with the double kill on the Doom and the Ember. Triple kill coming out as he finishes off the Puck, and oh no! CIS get completely wiped up. A buyback burn by Doom. Ember has one available, but kind of a disaster at the end.
Wow, yeah, that crit by that Tiny just completely decimated 3 heroes there, and Ember Spirit unfortunately blocked his Clockwork from re-engaging on them after he got that big Sleight of Fist off to survive. And it looks like they're buying out just to force LGD out of that Roshan pit. They don't want to give that Aegis and Cheese.
Yep, so no Rapier going the way of Ember Spirit quite yet, but
yeah, it's just going to probably be that double crit. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it more. He's just, it's really strong anyway, so, and yeah, the creeps are actually doing a lethal amount of damage up on that top lane, almost taking out the range barracks.
Yeah, and forces out the glyph. That siege creep, we see it getting pinged out here. Tiny will just go for it straight away, but yeah, ranged racks will basically go down, which is pretty big for CIS.
Look at Rabbit dancing around the creep wave because he has the buyback gold penalty. He didn't want to have to kill them. He wanted to be able to get the money, but he had to end up just killing them anyway.
Yeah, so buyback worth it here, I think, for the Ember Spirit. They will secure Roche with it, as LGD were forced to back out. Or will they? I don't know. LGD moving out, they could possibly contest here. And yeah, CIS will just hop out of the pit. They don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really see anybody on the map at all, and LGD still does have a really strong team fight. And they do have this Ag Scepter on the Veno now, too.
Wow. Let's look at the gold graph. It's been holding steady at about 20,000. Experience now going to about 15, so still a huge lead for CIS. But this Tiny, he is scary. What has he just picked up now on the Courier? He doesn't have buyback anyway. Might as well
Picks up
spend
the
that
Manta.
gold. Yeah, that's the Manta style.
Might as well at this point. Yeah, he doesn't have the buyback up in time, so now he's just trying to get maximum items because they need to contest this Roshan. They shouldn't let CIS try to get this for nothing.
Yeah, 5-man smoke. They'll move towards the pit, but Roche is falling pretty quickly here. They may get here in time to contest, maybe for an Aegis snatch. Nope, Roche goes down. Aegis of the Mortal goes to the Ember, and Cheese will get picked up by Doom.
Yeah, now they don't want to pick a fight outside their base now with that happening. They just are gonna back up and just try to just waste as much time as possible for that Aegis to disappear.
Yep, the right plan, but they'll have their work cut out for them. We still haven't really seen CIS with a good just 5-man death ball into the base, but they do have the pipe that Clockwork picked up, even though it hasn't been utilized all that much. And after another crit coming out with Ember Spirit with the glyph down, I think they could have a real shot at breaking the base here. I'm not sure if they caught the glyph being used, but it's down for another 3 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like right now is one of their best options is just go for getting one of those Rexes. Yeah, they might lose the Aegis, but you might as well use it. As long as you just don't all get wiped. And wow, he actually...
It's an MKB?
It's an MKB.
Interesting.
We got told.
Is there any evasion here or anything? I'm just trying to understand why the MKB.
I mean, I guess it can stop the channeling by the Wisp when he's channeling his ultimate with the mini stun.
Yeah, I mean that's something.
I guess that's something. I mean, it's good amount of damage, of course, anyway, and it gives a little bit of attack speed on top of that, so you can just man fight. Or if the Tiny actually ends up going for maybe a butterfly later on.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives a lot of damage, but a little bit of a strange.
Thinking about the Tiny. Yeah, I think usually either the double Battle Fury or the double Daedalus is just a little bit better on Ember Spirit because he's not really that manly of a carry hero.
Yeah, you just kind of spam your Sleight of Fist because he doesn't really have the most armor if you look at him as for an agility carry. He's level 25 already, and he's got 9 armor.
Yeah,
you see most agility carries have like 20-something armor at this point, and he does have the MKB though on him right now, and they're looking to break this high ground. Look at that damage if they're near each other.
Oh boy, those cleaves.
1,200 damage on that Venomancer.
Yeah, that is scary. Now the Venom wards will make this push a little more difficult, but given that the glyph isn't up, CIS they could probably just Zerg down this tower.
Yeah, and I think they do know that that glyph is down, so I think that's what they're really trying to do.
Yeah, and look at that. Puck will use the Lincolns on Dazzle to get things started, recognizing that he's been the source of this Storm's pressure. Smart choice to try and stop that Orchid. Part of the problem here is Tiny just clears up this creep wave so quickly.
Yeah, but the Dazzle's not using his weave aggressively. He's using it on his teammates there, and it's level 16 weave now, so they're getting, what is it, 36 armor by the end of it, so they're really, really tanky, and they should be able to break the high ground with this.
Yeah. And also that pipe still sitting in the inventory of Clockwork. He hasn't really used it yet.
I'm still confused why they're still just going for this mid instead of just pushing in top and going for the one without a tower, but
yeah, also
I guess they just want to do both. Now, pretty strange that they don't just rotate. Right when the creeps go to get toward the high ground, they just don't rotate up there, but... And yeah, now we do see them drawing a line, but looks like they want to push out the wave all the way from there. And this, if LGD picks up on it, they're going to be able to push out their lanes pretty good with this Wisp Tiny and buy even more time for themselves.
Yeah, they've got about 3 minutes left on the Aegis, so still plenty of time for CIS to try and make this happen. And LGD they're really hanging in there. Clockwork hookshot in onto the Tiny, though. They'll get scooted outside of the cogs. That was weird.
Yeah, it was. I didn't see if it was a 4-staff, huh? Right?
He did get 4-staff?
I looked away for like a millisecond, and the Fedal's 4-staff is down, so I think it was a 4-staff.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was just...
Might have just been really quickly.
Yeah, it was just odd the way it... Huh, alright, well...
I'm actually just wondering why they don't even... I guess they want to save the Wisp port, but I don't know why they don't just like port behind some creep waves right now when they see these guys trying to like push out their waves. Just port bottom, clear that creep wave, try to get a little bit more farm on the both of them, and then... whatever, but I guess they're just saving it in case of emergency, in case one of them gets jumped.
Yeah, but the glyph is now back up, so they can't really just Zerg the racks.
Yeah, and they bought themselves a lot of time there.
Yeah, LG, I mean, if this Aegis expires, that could be really big.
Yeah, and Tiny's almost got enough money now for that buyout. He's 90 more gold on him, so This is just doing just enough time, but actually he needs more than that because if he dies, he's going to lose a little bit. So.
Right. But stands the reason he may pick up a kill here. There we go. Pipe used. Defensive weave comes out. And there's the hook shot forward. It will come out onto DD. Ranged racks fall before the glyph comes out. Venomancer still alive. Mech as well as Poison Nova available. Melee racks taking heavy damage. Will they glyph it? No, they won't. That'll just be a free lane of racks. Why did they not glyph and fight that?
I'm not really sure. I guess they wanted to save it for mid, and I don't know why CIS didn't really do that earlier. They just got a free racks by going up there.
This game is getting weird, Fogged.
Yeah, man. I mean, it still is anybody's game at this point, though.
Yeah. I mean, one lane of racks is not really that crippling at this point. LGD are already kind of locked into their base. 2 lanes of racks, I would say, are definitely enough to kind of seal the deal here, but we'll see. They'll press forward. Glyph still available. Tier 3 tower taking some pretty heavy pressure. Avalanche actually off the mark. Clears up the creep wave, but doesn't connect with any of the heroes. There are creeps still in the base. Glyph comes out. Tier 3 tower taking heavy damage. BKB on the Ember Spirit. Storm tries to zip in, doesn't find the opening, and will be forced to hop out. Glyph is down. And Tier 3 tower has fallen. Now in flame. He gets engaged upon. Does get force stabbed back. And Pipe
They're going to go
out.
straight for the racks after they doom that Tiny because they know the Tiny can't come into fight just yet. They're going to get the racks out of it. Glyph might be used this time.
They already burned it? They burned it to
Oh
try
yeah,
and
they
save
did burn
the
it
tower?
before, right?
Yeah, now Yao, he's going to hop in. Does catch the Doom with the Orchid. Electric Vortex. A beautiful grave comes out from Dazzle. And they are going to be on the back foot here, though. Doom, he'll get caught by the Avalanche. And yeah, he will fall in flame. He stutters a little bit, trying to help his friend. He will get cleaned up. Of course, does have the Aegis. Hook shot coming in. Will connect, and Storm Spirit does fall. Now this Ember Spirit just doing so much damage. June standing his ground for now. Rabbit taking a lot of damage as well. They will finish off this Tiny. What's the buyback situation? Tiny does have it. But Wisp may pay. Remnant forward. Yep.
Crit.
Just gets obliterated. Yao, he's bought back now. He's ready to tango.
That was a really good play by June there, though. He just had the Tiny stuck in those cogs, and the Ember Spirit was just free to rain, just beating up on that Wisp.
Yeah, now they're just trying to make the escape. Centaur hops in, does connect to the hoof stomp. Yao completely out of mana. Could potentially get turned around on. Shivas is available for the Doom. Sleight of Fist Bolas. They'll hop in. Yao will fall. And it looks like DD could be in some big trouble here as well. Poison Nova comes out. Icy stampedes forward. I think CIS might be able to seal the deal here, though, Fogged.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, they're losing a couple people right now, but they got those racks down, and they ended up killing that Storm after his buyout now, too. So he lost a lot of gold. And we see another engagement up on Rabbit, and this could be the game right here. His buyback is down, and he is out of position entirely, and he drops.
Yep, nowhere to go.
And the GGs come out.
As soon as he falls, there's the GG.
That Doom stun there before. You said the Centaur got his hoof stomp up. He didn't even get to. Doom got the stomp on him before he even got it off. So really well played by him there too. And just CIS playing really damn good Dota all over the place. They had such a commanding early game. They had a little bit of trouble breaking the base, but of course that's going to happen versus Venom Wards. And of course, you know, the Tiny just being able to clean up the waves so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the Chinese stream here, Black is very excited. He's all smiles and cheers. And yeah, LGD, they're looking a little more pessimistic on their side of the booth. But
yeah,
pretty good
this
game
Ember
to get
Spirit
things
power.
going.
That hero just dishing out so much damage that LGD was just so scared to fight because they would just get hit by one sleight of fist, and one of them would have to go back to heal because it would just do about 1,200 damage after the awful early game that they ended up having.
Yeah, dude, Ember Spirit did 45,000 damage to heroes that game. Tiny did only 25,000, just to give you context of how ridiculous the Ember Spirit is. Venomancer did 27,000, and Storm Spirit did 14. So
you really think about it, you don't really see these high of damage numbers coming out except for from like a hero like Zeus.
Yeah.
So it's just insane that a carry can even be able to dish out this much AoE damage on everybody because it's not like he was just hitting one person really hard. He was hitting everybody insanely hard.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So, all right, guys, we'll have a little break here, and then Game 2 of this Best of 2 series will be coming up. In Flame was the MVP this round. He was the one playing on the Ember Spirit, of course. And I think pretty well-deserved. A pretty solid Ember, and he set up a lot of kills that game, ending 18-3-11. Ouch.
Yeah, I played pretty damn well. The Clockwork as well had just a great game completely because he just kept getting catch-outs that they wanted. And, yeah, I mean, the snowball just ended up happening. They got so much momentum.
Yep. So we'll have a short break here, guys, and then Game 2 of this Best of 2 series will be coming up. We'll see if CIS can make it a 2-0, or if LGD can tie us up and make it a 1-1. The conclusion coming up after this short break.